Hey, what's going on, everybody? James here, your ABX audiophile. I hope you guys are having a fantastic transition into the holidays and are looking forward to some family time and friend time and relaxing and kind of rolling out of this 2024. Today, we're going to ask the question, do you want to or are you interested in, maybe you've always thought about moving to a moving coil cartridge for your turntable. Some of them get spendy. You don't know what it is. You know, just kind of that whole transition. Will my phono preamplifier work? Do I have to buy a new phono preamplifier now that I'm moving from moving magnet to moving coil? You know, maybe you are looking for a new phono preamplifier. I'm going to talk about a product today, the Zact, that is really cool from Zinamp. They make different, integrated amplifiers, phono preamplifiers. They make this cool little small, teeny, miniature type of an amplifier thing for your moving magnet cartridge. That will basically jump it up in performance, clarity, focus, detail, dynamics, all of this stuff, soundstage, separation, stereo separation, everything. Maybe a good upgrade to the cartridge you already have. Maybe you like the tonality and the sound profile of your moving magnet cartridge, but you know what? You'd like to try out a little different phono preamplifier, and so let's talk about this guy today and see what we got. First off, I'll show you the unit. We'll kind of talk about it. Then I'll show you kind of videos of me actually installing it so that you'll know kind of what you're getting into, and then we'll come back and talk about the sound of it a little bit, and we'll get you guys out of here. I know it's getting close to the holidays. Everybody's wanting to open them presents and get all that new stereo equipment you ordered. Well, maybe this can be on your list of stuff for 2024 to wrap it up and move into 2025 with some fantastic sound. So let's take a look at the Zact from Zinamp, and it's going to be a good time. That way. Let's go through the door. All right, so I'm going to show you how simple this is. So essentially, if we spin around here, you can see my tone arm. So what we would do is you would just undo your leads, from your cartridge, and just kind of let them hang there. And then just for reference, I've got a Ortofon Blue, because what you do is you order the Zact chip based on your cartridge that you have, and you just reach out to them, let them know what cartridge you have. And then you get their little phono preamplifier that goes with it. And essentially what you're doing is you're sending a signal back and forth that kind of eliminates any capacitance issue that you would see in the wiring from your cartridge all the way back. So it sends a little signal there. And I'm not sure it's super, I'm not a super smart guy about this. I'm just kind of testing all this stuff out. But I'm going to show you guys how to install this, and if you want to know exactly kind of the technical terminology of what it exactly does, you can reach out to Zact and ask them. But essentially what you do is you get this little chip here, and it's got the posts already on it. You can see they're all color-coded, really nice quality on the back. You can see the chip. You take your cartridge, which has the color coding on it as well, and you just align those two, and this thing literally just friction slips. There it is. It's installed. It's literally that simple. Just friction slips over your cartridge, and then you would mount this back to your tone arm and just plug the leads back in, and you are rocking and rolling. You would hook it up to the Zact output of your phono preamplifier or your input, and then it would facilitate all the rest. So that's all you got to do. And so that's kind of how you install it. It is recommended that prior to installing your cart back on your tone arm, over there, beep boop, to push the leads on. You can push the leads on first. You can even put the leads on prior to putting this onto your deal there. It's hard to see and look at the camera at the same time, but yeah, it just friction slips on there, and it's actually pretty snug. I can't pull that off. I mean, I got to give it a little wiggle. The way that they build it, it kind of friction fits and does really good. So
yeah, just kind of mess around with it, but that's how you install the thing. It's literally that easy. I'm going to go ahead and install it on my tone arm. I'm going to remove the Dynavector 20X2, and we're going to give this guy a run with and without the Z-Act, and I will report back to you guys. All right, cheers.
Okay, so you can see we've got the Dynavector 20X2 removed, which is my reference cartridge. Just because of the, availability and most people kind of using, in this price point and space. Z-Act and I and the guys over there, we decided to go with, like we said, the Ortophon Blue, which is a fantastic cart. A little bit more budget-minded and accessible to a lot of folks. And they have a Z-Act chip that mates right up with it, which you can see we've already got mounted there. So we've got the Dynavector removed. You can see that guy. And all you really need is just a little set of pliers or even your hands, depending on the wires. And you just remove the wires from the back of your cartridge. You take the two little screws off out of the deal. Make sure to zip tie your tone arm down so it doesn't flop around while you're doing the work. And of course, when we put the Ortophon Blue back onto the tone arm, we are going to have to reset everything. So you would just go through the standard process of your, weight and setting up all your tone arm and stuff like that for a new cartridge. So all of those steps there's not going to be anything different here. So we're going to go ahead and mount the Ortophon Blue, go through those steps, and then we'll come back when we get the Phono Pre, which by the way is right here. And I auditioned this thing just alone with my Dynavector. And you guys should really check out that review because that was absolutely a fantastic phono preamplifier for the money. Highly recommended. Buddha, you even approved, don't you? Yep, look at that. See, he even said yes. Anyway, we're going to come back in just a few minutes. We will have the cartridge installed and we will get everything hooked up, and I'll show you guys how to integrate the Z-Act chip on the back of the Blue with your system, and we'll get all that stuff dialed in. All right. All right, so you can see here we've got the Z-Act chip mounted. It was real easy. It just slipped right on. I mounted it before just because it's a little easier to manipulate the chip and your wires without the Ortophon Blue cartridge kind of hanging in the way. But you're more than happy to just mount your cart if you'd like, slide the stuff on and do the whole thing. But I'm just kind of messing around with it, and it just felt a little bit more comfortable doing it this way. So I'm going to go ahead and now slide the cart onto the chip and then just mount the whole assembly to the top. So we'll get that going now. All right. All right, so as you guys can see, we got the VPI Scout, we got the Dynavector removed, we've got the Ortophon Blue mounted here. For some reason my focus isn't working right now. You can see the Z-Act chip on the back with the wires connected. I will tell you, just with this tone arm, and it probably varies on different tone arms, but you can see that little C shape that kind of rolls down on that far back lead. I had to just ever so slightly bend that tab down just a little bit to get it to kind of bypass, but it wasn't anything extreme. Let's see if I can swing over there and see. Yeah, just the very top one right there. Just ever so slightly, just had to flex it just a little bit to kind of get it to seat in there nicely. But other than that, it wasn't anything like I had to force, or there wasn't anything cracking or anything like that. Everything went in really nice. And it probably didn't even have to be bent. I was just wanting to make some clearance there. So anyway, that's ready to rock and roll. We're going to get it hooked up to the Zen amp, which basically, if you look at this guy, and you don't have to get the ones with tubes in it. They got all different ones. But this one, you'll see it has a Z-Act input here. So basically, when you hook up your turntable, you will just run down from your turntable your RCAs to this one. And then the ground there, and then that will facilitate that communication between the Z-Act and your cartridge through your tone arm wires, just getting rid of all those little electrical issues and capacitance and stuff like that. And then standard output, you would go to either your direct to your preamplifier, or you can have this volume control to your preamplifier, which basically, if you watch my review of the Zen amp, you can choose to actually kind of have this act like a preamplifier. You can have a volume control here, or you can bypass it. And then, of course, on our front setting, we're going to have it set to Z-Act
not moving coil or moving magnet. So we're going to adjust that down, connect to the Z-Act in the back, standard outputs, choose which one you want to use, and you're rocking and rolling. Yep, let's go, turn some tubes on.
Okay, so that was a rundown of the Z-Act product from XenAmp. If you guys, I've got the units right here. If you guys did not watch the review on this XenAmp phono preamplifier, I showed you some pictures of it in this review. Go check that out because I think it is a really good pairing. I mean, if you want the best of both worlds, if you really want to upgrade your analog vinyl playback system, you've got a really nice turntable, a really nice cartridge that you'd like to take to the next level, but you really kind of like that cart. Check out this product, man. This is an all tube. There are no op amps in here. This thing is absolutely phenomenal. It held its own with phono pre's that we had that were twice the price. But you can see all of that in my review on it. But essentially, if you want to go full boat package, that's kind of what you're gonna want to do. As I said, we went with the Ortophon Blue. There's the little chip and the little piece that goes with it, like I showed you in the video. So we got all that stuff here. If you want to use their cartridge, like if you have swappable cartridges and stuff, like one of those tone arms that it unscrews and kind of goes on there, they have a cart that you can buy already set up specifically for this. They have a couple different variations of the preamplifier. So if you didn't want the tube one, they've got a solid state one. They've got a bunch of different options. If you do just want to use this with your cart and you just want to check it out, they can get you the appropriate chip for your cartridge. So you're just going to reach out to those folks over there at XenAmp, tell them what you got, tell them what you want to do. They'll talk you through kind of the options and based on your system and your goals, what you want to do. These guys are based out of the UK, small company, consumer direct, super nice folks over there. You know, their thing is just like, let's bring all of this stuff back to like how it was in the golden days, man. Just pure analog, you know. So in all of his products, they're just going to have that focus on that analog sound, that analog vibe. And they have a really, really nice musicality coupled with a very good performance. So what are you going to get with this? What did I experience moving into this product and this cartridge? Did it better my $1,200 Dynavector 20X2 moving coil? No, it didn't. I think that's a significant upgrade from an Ortophon Blue. I think we can all agree that an Ortophon Blue is a great cartridge. It's a good middle of the road if you're jumping up from an entry-level table, entry-level gear, moving from an Ortophon Red or, you know, some of these other, $150, $100 cartridges. You want to jump up your game. The Ortophon Blue is a good place to look. It's a solid cart. It'll give you a little bit more of that forward edge and that clarity, but it's not going to take the Ortophon Blue and bring it up to a Dynavector level. That's just not going to happen. But what it does do, in our experience, I listened to it with and without. So it's a quick swap. You just pull the thing off, put your leads back on, jump your RCAs back over to the regular phono preamplifier, and you're back in business. The main thing that I noticed with this thing, it was probably like taking that cartridge and just upgrading it in quality like about a step or two, a good couple tiers, in kind of overall performance. It doesn't really change the tonality or the sound signature of the Ortophon Blue or whatever cart that you're going to be using it with, but it does increase that dynamics, that detail, little bit more focused, nice stereo separation, little bit of like expanding the soundstage. Basically, it just feels like a couple veils have been lifted off of your soundstage that allow a little bit more of that micro detail and those details to come through, so you can notice a little bit more of the details in the music as it's presented to you. When we do that, when we take that type of stuff out of our soundstage and we kind of open up those veils and let us get in there a little bit more and clean up that signal, the bass gets better, the bass gets tighter, the mids are a little bit richer just because they're coming through and they're not as diffused. So that's really what we saw in the end of the day. Is it worth it to me? If I still had my project debut DC with my Ortophon Blue cart, I would 100% be looking at this thing. I mean, this is absolutely fantastic. I have not talked to XenAmp about an option to work with my Dynavector yet. What we wanted to do is kind of bring, it down to probably the level where people are going to be looking at this. You're going to get it into this, a few $100s here, a couple $100 there. You're going to look at one of his phono preamplifiers and decide how deep you want to get into the universe. So if you are running that type of, setup, price appropriate, we decided that let's look at the Ortofon Blue, because that's kind of where probably most of the people that are going to be moving to something like this are looking to kind of get that jump and that improvement. So I would like to try it out with my Dynavector X2. I really like this phono pre. Like, I don't think he's going to get this phono preamplifier back. I might just be keeping this one for my system myself. Because it is absolutely fantastic with my VPI and my Dynavector. But so anyways, that is our take, our review, our how-to on Zenamp's Zact products. Take a look at him. Go to his website. He gives you awesome rundowns. And you know what? Check out all the pricings and reach out to him. He's a really, really personable guy. He is a member of our Discord, so if you guys want to talk to him directly, jump in our Discord and you can chitty chat with him in real time. So anyway, I hope you all have a fantastic day. I am James, your ABX audiophile, and we are the world's only 100% nonprofit charity reviewer. 100% of our proceeds go directly to help youth musical programs that focus on mentorship through musical creation. Over $10,000 raised and donated this year. Absolutely fantastic. It's going to put us about 15,000 overall, I think, by the time we get everything said and done this year. Hopefully, fingers crossed. And we are looking for a charity to support next year. So if you guys have any ideas of a youth musical program that is a nonprofit that focuses on musical mentorship, reach out to us and let us know. You can reach out to me on my website. You can jump in the Discord. We've got Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. Happy holidays. I appreciate every one of you, and you have a fantastic day. We'll talk to you later.
All right, let's get out of here. Beer 30, Jiminy Christmas.